Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasahing papawid, 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Okay, happy Tuesday everybody. Welcome mo sa ating program. Ito po ang Legal Advice Corner. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN on a warm, medyo ngayon, parang a bit, ano matawag doon, pagka yung sa Pilipinas, yung medyo, nakalimutan ko na, mamaya maalala ko. Anyway, magandang hapon ho, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, no? Dahil alas 6 na ho ng gabi. Dito, hapon pa ho. Dito ho kasi ay sa United Kingdom ay summertime pa ho. No? Itong buong August is summertime. At siguro mid-September ho, saka lang magsisimula yung tinatawag nating, ano pa pangalan yan? Autumn or fall. Ayan. Anyway, good evening ho. Mga kaibigan, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the program. At isa na namang dagdag kaalaman day para sa ating lahat. No? Welcome mo sa ating program. For those who are watching us for the first time, teka muna, sa apat na sulok ng United Kingdom, magandang hapon, good evening sa inyo, sa ating mga kababayan, sa ibang parte ng mundo, kung saan mang bahagi kayo ng mundo nanonood, tuloy ho kayo kabayan. Ayan, hindi ho ako, palagi ang kong sinasabi, hindi ho ako ang star of the show. Ang star of the show ay yung ipakikilala ko ho, no? Batang-batang managing partner po ng Deo Volente Solicitors. Siguro, sabihin na natin, ito ang Pinay na kababayan natin na hindi siya ang may-ari ng law firm kasi pwedeng maging may-ari ka ng law firm, managing partner ka. Pero hindi ho, ito ay through the ranks tumaso talagang na-promote, no? At siya ho ang managing partner ng kanilang law firm. Pakikilala ko na para hindi na ho magtagal at marami tayong pwedeng pag-usapan, pagkwentuhan na bago simulan yung ating topic for today. Ang topic nga ho pala for today, part 3 ho ito, continuation ho ng truth or myth. Ito ho yung mga glossary of legal and Latin terms. Naubos na ho natin yung first, hindi ko alam kung 20 letters, no? A to something. Tutuloy natin yung matitirang 6 na letters ng alphabet and yung mga ibang Latin, tag ito, yung mga terms. Paki-flash mo nga, direct, naka-flash na ba yung ating mga Latin terms? Okay, so ayan ho ang pag-uusapan natin today, no? Truth or myth, ang glossary of legal and Latin terms. Okay, teka muna, pakilala ko na muna yung ating pinakamamahal na abogada, no? Walang eto, ayan na, lumabas na. Part 3 ho tayo. Pakikilala ko na, excited na ho ako at kukumustahin natin kung ano ang kanyang ginawa during the weekend, no? Itong nakaraang weekend. So, mga kaibigan, let's welcome the program. Palagian natin kasama, no? Walang iba kundi ang ating pinakamamahal na abogada, Brains and Beauty, walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Mr. LARAGAN. I think what you mean kanina is napaka-humid. Ma-humid na humid ngayon dito sa United Kingdom. Nasa kasagsagan tayo ng ating summer. Near record, ewan ko anong temperatura ngayon nakalagay dito sa akin, near record So, 30 degrees na ba ngayon? Hindi ko alam, but Tuloy pa rin po kayo, 23. Hindi naman ganun ka-record. Ewan ko bakit sabi ng laptop ko near record. Tuloy po kayo. Welcome na naman sa ating Dagdag Kaalaman Day. How are you? It was quite an exciting weekend sa atin dito sa United Kingdom, di ba? Pinag-uusapan namin, well, England muna. Kasi pinag-uusapan namin na muntikan na talaga. Muntikan na.
Sayang. Muntikan. Ang ganda ng cap mo. Saan mo nakuha yan, attorney?
Online lang. Online lang.
Nice.
Diba? So, dapat,
Yes.
dapat nanalo tayo. Pero, it was Women's World Cup. So, after umexit na ang Pilipinas, syempre, doon na tayo mag-cheer. Well, for me, doon ako mag-cheer sa aking second home at second nationality.
Yes.
Well, second home, which is England. Dahil nakaabot tayo ng finals. Diba? Against Spain, which is...
We did. Yes, we did, no?
Quite exciting.
Even the men's, no? Since 1966, hindi pa sila nakaabot sa finals. And ito yung sayang. Ang ganda sana. It would have been a wonderful weekend. Okay naman na parang na lang parang konsolasyon na lang na yun nga nakarating tayo finals, pero it would have been really wonderful. Okay na rin achievement, nakarating sila sa finals. Last year ba yung silang European champions, di ba? Within 2 years, no? Malaki na achievement nila. Pero sayang, it would have been a wonderful weekend. I was looking forward to it, no? Excited. Kanya nga
Pareho
na.
tayo.
For the first 15 minutes yata o 20 minutes of play, nung makita kong outclassed sila, sabi ko, I don't wanna, ano tawag dito, yung tiisin to, yung ano ba sa English, basta titiisin ko na lang, hindi ko kaya eh. So, lumabas kami ni Snooki, naglakad kami. Sabi ko kay Sol, pag medyo nag-equalize na, 1-1, tawagan mo ako para babalik ako. Kasi magiging exciting na yung laban, di ba? Parang may laban eh. Kasi actually walang laban eh. There was no game at all eh. Feeling ko when I was watching it.
Nag-banter ng konti nung second half. But they were the better team won. Yun ang ano natin. Congratulations, Spain.
Congratulations to Spain,
Well-deserved ang panalo. Magaling talaga. Kaya nakakatuwa din namang tingnan yung ganong level ng talent at pwedeng mag-dream. Yun, alam mo yung nag-dream ka ng konti, nakala mo, ayun na, magiging champion na. Tapos,
hindi kasi tuloy-tuloy.
Parang pumasa ka ng konti,
diba?
pero ang hirap kung fan ka. Because it's massive here, as you know, it's massive here in England, ang football.
Yeah.
And binubuksan nila.
You cannot will it.
You cannot will it.
Gusto ko sabihin, you cannot will it for them to win eh. Sila may control ng laban eh. Sila hindi pwedeng i-will mo manalo kayo, hindi pwede. And for me that is very very tiring. Napapagod ako na I'm rooting for a team but I'm looking for hindi competitive. Parang it frustrates me a lot. Sa parang ayoko na manood. We were even thinking watching it sa pub dahil di ba pag may pub, pag naka-score, masaya, di ba yung ambience ng crowd, di ba? Iniisip sana namin yon. Kaso kung natuloy pala yan, parang di ba, hirap din ang gano'n.
Magsalukot ka lang.
Malulungkot lang, Pero exciting, the thought getting into from the nanalo tayo na, was it Wednesday tayo nanalo sa Australia?
Tuesday ba yun? I don't know.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Hindi ko na matanda.
Tuesday
Kasi sabi
yata, Tuesday.
Nakita ko lang na yung last 10 minutes, I was just reading. Hindi ako nakapanood kasi nasa office ako. So I was just reading the score. So I was reading the score. And then nakita ko yung nag-equalize. Tapos yung last 10 minutes na sobrang action-packed. And then you felt, kasi 3-1 pa na. Sabi ko, mukhang may laban. Mukhang may laban sa finals. And you get very excited kasi, syempre dito, di ba? Malakas ng football. And for women's team as well, breaking barriers, breaking all this glass ceiling sa sports. It's very, very inspiring.
Okay. Teka muna. Were you, teka, okay. Hindi, attorney, 1-0 lang ang score.
I won. No, 3-1 Australia. Australia, I meant Australia.
You're right. Sorry, my apologies.
That's
Oo nga.
kaya
Yun,
tayo
3-1.
nag-dream kasi mukhang magaling mag-score.
Kasi nga tama ka kasi
naka
nasa
3-1
office ka, and then
Oo.
pinag-uusapan yata na, tama. So more or less, when we were talking about it, Wednesday yung game. Kasi
Wednesday,
parang
bro.
pinag-uusapan natin, sabi ko, attorney, 11 o'clock yan, more or less, baka aabot ka pa sa second half, no, bago matapos yung ano.
Wednesday nga, yeah.
Oo nga,
That's right. It was
tama.
Wednesday. I remember it now.
Ayun,
Kasi
that was
na-remember
exciting.
Kasi may meeting pala ako
Yeah,
noon. Tapos ng meeting ko, nag-check na ako. So natapos lahat. Tapos things got settled. And I looked at my watch and I was like, oh, it must be time to check the score. Kasi at least wala na yung kaba. Alam mo na yung mananalo ko. Hindi, last time. And then I saw it. I think 1-2-1 or something. So kinakabahan ka pa rin. Or 1-1 ba yun? Or 2-1 kinakabahan ka. Tapos biglang ang daming, I think within the span of 10 minutes, ang daming nangyari. And they ended up with this very convincing win na 3-1. So talagang, mag-a-ambition ka talaga manalo. Kasi, convincing 3-1, mag-a-ambition ka. I was such in a happy mood.
Yeah.
At sinabi ko talaga sa lahat, manood kayo lahat. Sa lahat ng mga colleagues ko. It's such, alam mo, hindi ako dating mahilig sa football ha. I don't know what happened. I think because Philippines, yun talaga yung isa sa major. Napanood ko si Ted Lasso sa Apple TV. So I watched the series Ted Lasso. Very, very good. Very funny.
Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso.
Netflix yan, attorney? Netflix?
Apple TV. Check out.
Sorry,
Apple
you said,
TV.
you were saying, tama, sabi mo Apple TV. Okay.
Apple TV.
Okay.
So very,
Ano pangalan? Ted Lasso? Ted Lasso.
Yun ang pangalan,
LA para.
Coach.
Okay. Ang napanood ko, nanood ako recently last 2 days ago, yung Reacher, ang lead actor si Alan Ritchson. May ano ka ba? Meron ka bang Prime Video?
Meron din ako. Yeah. I'll watch that.
Oo, maganda yung Reacher. Nag-feature siya dati, pero ngayon lang namin napanood itong weekend lang. So, yeah, I don't know. It's nice also, no? Although si Tom Cruise gumawa ng movie, yung Reacher din, ang pamagat. Reacher din, based on yung kay Lee Child's novels, no? Kasi yung Jack Reacher, yun ang protagonist ni
I've watched this. Si Jack Reacher. I've watched this. Si Jack Reacher pala, sorry, I completely. Yeah, di ba apat na season, natapos ko na ata natin. Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yeah, based on the movie. Ano siya, di ba? Parang he was a CIA. He was a doctor. He was initially an analyst, wasn't he? A financial analyst. Tama ba?
Anong film yan? Hindi, attorney. Anong film yan?
Jack Reacher.
Hindi ko alam. Baka yan? Yung si ang pangalan nito, si Jack, Tama ka, isa rin yun. Si yung kilala ko yan. Iba yun.
Iba pa yun.
Yung matangkad, si Alan Ritchson ba? Teka muna, ano ba yung alam ko yung sinasabi mo nakailang seasons din yun may last Ryan something, tama ba?
Ryan, yeah. Let me have a look. Para share tayo ng
si Ryan. Tingnan. Ryan yata. Ryan ang pangalan nun.
Reacher. Si Jack Reacher. Iba pa yung Reacher kay Jack Reacher. Understood. Jack Ryan pala yon. Kaya pala tayo na Jack Ryan. That's different. Kasi may Jack Reacher. Sorry.
Jack Reacher. Pero Reacher lang yata yun. Pero yun lang, napanood lang namin. Alam ko yung sinasabi mo, dahil may final yata, may season sila ngayon. Fourth ba o third? Jack Ryan, tama ka. Jack Ryan, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, tama. Oo. Yeah. Well, it's nice, no? Check if I can find yung sinasabi mo sa Ted Lasso, no? Kung feel good, maganda rin, no? Ito yata, si
Yeah.
Alan Richon, he's a tall guy, mga 6'5" eh. Tangkad. It's a nice lang, kung gusto niyo makapanood ng okay naman din. It's a series sa Amazon yata may gawa ng no? Ang Prime, no?
Yes.
Amazon. So Amazon, oh yeah, Amazon. So yeah, oh. Attorney, yun lang ang yun lang ginawa ko no weekend namin, nanood at hindi ako nanood ng games. Actually, hindi ko pinanood eh. I only watched the first 10, 15
A little
minutes of the
bit.
game. Oo, and after that, I got frustrated. Lumabas kami ni Snooki.
Bumalik ka na.
And then, even yung tapos niya, yung let's say mga commentaries ng mga announcers, hindi ko na pinanood kasi I was really frustrated. I was so down kasi I was spinning all, natutuwa ako, gusto kong may good weekend di ba?
Yeah.
Manalo man lang sana sila. At saka that would be great. World Cup, tas darating dito, i-welcome natin mga heroes.
Well,
Di ba?
tama.
Oo. I don't know kung welcome ngayon. Dumating na yata. Kailan ba, may welcoming committee ba? O sa
Wala.
welcome, where they
Parang heartbroken.
wala.
Heartbroken na.
Wala,
Kasi
wala.
parang wala pa. Medyo talagang
Oo.
natamaan din ata yung mga players. Pero ganun talaga eh. That's sports, that's life. You win some, you lose some, you get better. So maybe in 4 years time, we can have a good go again. Kasi magaling si Serena Wigman, yung coach. I really like her. I'm
Yes,
sure.
we like it.
I'm sure some people would say hindi siya perfect. Of course, no one's perfect. But it's maganda naman yung naging resulta last European. Maybe siguro kailangan ng different adjustment. So you hope na we'll do better next time. Malapit na eh. Malapit na. Napakalapit na. Sayang. Yun lang siguro yung nakakaano. Sayang. Andun na. Akala mo, ano nga ba yung sa atin? Yung abot kamay mo na. Abot kamay na sana. And as you said, napakasaya siguro kung nanalo dahil feeling ko may bank holiday tayo eh.
Exactly. Pero alam mo, attorney, even if they were just competitive, maski natalo, basta competitive lang na nakikita mong lumalaban at hirap din ng Spain, mag-enjoy ka eh. Mag-enjoy ka sana kung ganun sana naging situation, kung nag-competition talaga. Pero hindi, they were really outclassed eh. Talagang wala eh, ang layo eh. Yung mga pasa nila, they lose possession of the ball, yung pag umaatake na yung Spain, bukas na bukas sila ang nakakatake. So I said, wala, sayang lang. Pero yun nga, kay Serena Wigman, we love her because she brought something to the team eh. Yung team ng UK, actually wala akong believe yung men's hindi nakakarating ng mga finals ever since 1966, kopong pa, 60 plus years. Babae lang pala magdadala. Imagine mo yan, di ba? So dapat supportahan. Kaya nga, how much is Serena Wigman paid? She's paid about $400,000 pounds. As compared kay sino yung guy? $3 million pounds a year. Sino yung coach ng lalaki?
Gareth Southgate.
Biro mo, 3 million. Kung naipanalo niya talagang ni Serena, talagang maski bigyan mo ng 2 million per year o 3 million, di ba? It's worth it eh. Dahil she can really ang problema lang yata, attorney, they were just stuck with a 2-1-3-2 mga ganong style na exploit ng Spain. And when they were trying to make adjustments, nagiging awkward yung miscommunication na ng tao because they got stuck. That was the thing that brought them to all the success, no? Ang problema, they got stuck with that yung formation. So yun ang sinasabi. So
hindi na break yung ng Spain. Isa din sa very interesting na analysis was gustong-gusto ng Spain na nasa kanila yung possession. And that's always been their game. And they have amazing talents dahil napakalaki nga ng football din sa country nila. But if you look at their game sa Japan, wherein Japan won 4-0, Mr. Laragan. 4-0. Di talaga
over Spain.
Over Spain. 4-0. 4-0. And ang sinasabi nilang analysis doon is actually Japan has very limited possession. So they let
23%.
Spain do what they want. Oh, okay lang, mababa lang. Kasi, the Spanish will do whatever they always do, which is to keep the ball in their possession. But when they have the ball, yung Japan team, they make sure that they make the most use out of it. And kada attempt nila sa goal, it's always on point. Kaya yun ang na-maximize nila yung hinayaan nila. They let, siguro dun din hindi rin sila napagod. It was beautiful yung goal ng Japan against Spain. And that's the only time na sabi ko talaga, merong makakatalo si Spain. But then after that, no one really has figured out how to reposture yung ganun na game ng Spain. That's the reason why it's so interesting. I think from an analysis, kasi mahilig tayo mag-analyze, mahilig tayo mag ano ng game. From a strategic point of view, hindi lang din pala about about having the best singular players, best na ganitong position, best na ganito. But equally, you have to read yung kalaban mo. You have to read kung ano yung, kumbaga parang chess game, ano sunod na ano nito, ano sunod na move nito. And I think I'm sure mas magaling sila mag-analyze sa atin. I'm sure they tried preparing for it, but there must be something with the Japanese team. There must be something with how they dealt with Spain to be able to score like that. 4-0, 4-0. That
I
was
want to
quite
watch that. I want to watch that. Na-intriga ako, no? Yeah, during the game, they were saying that Japan won over Spain, but they only had about 23% of the possession. At the time that they were making the commentary, ang England was having a 30 plus 35 or something percentage of possession, no? I don't know kung ano lang nangyari. Gusto ko panoorin because I'm quite intrigued, no?
Yeah.
Paano natalong Spain sa Japan, no? But ang nangyayari kasi, mga earlier stages yan eh. So parang knockout stages na pagaling ka ng pagaling eh. Kasi ang team naman kasi binubuo yan, biglaan na rin yan eh. Kung sino-sino mamimili. Tapos they have to gel eh. It's a team effort. Kaya hindi pwedeng, tama yung sinasabi mo kanina, hindi individual yan eh. Kasi kailangan total, yan eh. Total cohesion, diba? Kailangan medyo complete, magandang ang communication ninyo eh. Sa isa't isa, no? So, sayang, but it was a wonderful week. Excited tayo, looking forward to hopefully winning the World Cup, no? Dahil alam ko, Pilipinas, malayo. Pero
Malayo
sa
ba?
palagay mo, do you think ang Pilipinas will get to a level, yung class na, yung kalibre ng mga, even siguro, yung mga second tier na team sa mga labanan? Top tier sa match.
No, but
Kaya.
din. Kasi may puso. Ang maganda sa atin, ang nakakatuwa nga sa atin, Mr. Laragan, kasi makikita mo yung puso talaga na andun yung pagmamahal ng Filipino as a fan. So that for sure has a huge contribution in terms of spurring all these talents to pitch in. Kasi may mga may mga rumors na yung mga Premier Club players, Filipina Premier Club players dito, half Filipina or with Filipino heritage. Abay, interesado daw na I think it's si Pacheco, which is quite known.
Okay, that's good.
I think Aston Villa, but sure, quite, very, and she's a law graduate. I've heard of her, it passed by my feed, and it's quite interesting because law graduate din siya. So, Miss Pacheco, if ever you'll be a solicitor, welcome ka sa Legal Advice Corner. Pero punta ka muna national. Ano ka pumunta dito?
Pero ang mangyayari niyan, attorney, okay, that's good news. Pero ang mangyayari niyan, baka ang Philippine team would not be comprised of any Filipino from within the Philippines. Ang mangyayari siguro, parang puro mga players from outside of the Philippines representing the Philippines. Parang Askal. Askal ba yan? Askal?
Yeah. But
sila young husband ba pangalan nun?
You look at English, you look at the English squad, the men's English squad, Mr. Laragan. It's not all Caucasian, di ba? hindi naman ang heritage nila all Caucasian. You look at a lot of them came from immigrant parents, cross-pollination ng heritage. So, no one can really say now hindi ka Briton kasi yung tatay mo galing Africa o yung tatay mo galing Italy. So, a lot of, you look at yung mga ano din natin, Lauren James is not fully Caucasian din eh. You know, what we're looking at here is a different form of immigration. So kung tayo nga, marami tayong migrant dito and we say, well, we want to go forward, we want to find a better opportunity for us. The same analogy for sports. You know, if
No,
they're
pero ang
able.
sinasabi mo, attorney, pero ang sinasabi mo, ano yan eh, yung mga nandito na yan, people who grew up here, although they're of, say for example, African or whatever heritage, dito na lumaki. Just like for example, yung Jews na nasa sa Israel and then nung bago mag Second World War, nagkalat sila sa Europe, and if ever they become popular, say for example in Lithuania or Poland, they will be representing Poland. Hindi ano. Okay, doon sila naglalaro. Pwede sila pumunta sa Pilipinas, pero actually galing sila sa Poland. So pero sa Pilipinas, walang player na may player ba na galing may player ba na Pinoy na galing mismo sa ano?
Meron.
Merong local?
Meron mga
Kasi
local.
narinig ko mga
Meron mga
California, Hawaii.
Meron mga local.
Okay.
Meron
Meron ba? Okay. Sana.
But the reality is that ang culture ng sports na yan sa Pilipinas is in nascent stage. Nasa infant size, infant stage pa lang. It's really still growing. So, aminin na natin genetically, you know, the pure Filipino blood compared if mixed with the Caucasian, we get a different output na we will get the height because dun sa goalie nga natin, you know, that's the natural outcome kung namimix yung Filipino blood with Caucasian. I'm pretty sure in due course, you know, 2, 3, 4 generations down the line, when yung cross-pollination ng mga nakukuha natin na talent from elsewhere comes back to Philippines, perhaps we could build more grassroots talents. But the reality is these are the factors we have to work with. These are the factors that we can maximize. And alam mo naman sa ating Pilipino, what are we very good at? Resourceful tayo eh. Kung saan ang oportunidad, pupunta tayo. The same as nag-i-immigrate tayo elsewhere. Bakit hindi natin i-allow itong mga very, very talented young people outside to go back to reverse migration back to Philippines? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, lahat naman tayo we're looking for something better for us. If they say, oh, hindi sila mukhang Pilipino, I mean, ano ba talaga ang mukhang Pilipino? Because if you really look at our heritage, you know, we're a mix of Spanish, we're probably a mix of Malay, Polynesian, Chinese. It is hundreds and hundreds of years of adding dun sa cultural mix pot natin sa Pilipinas. And what we're very good at is we're quite good at being hospitable. We're quite good at making people feel, you know, happy and feel welcome in our country. So, kung may madadagdag sila, you know, if they can add to the growth of and the betterment of sports, mai-inspire nila yung mga kapwa nila Pilipino kahit pa, you know, they're not completely non-Filipino. Ayun naman I'm pretty sure there is a minimum standard for that. You know, you'll have to have a heritage of Filipino in you. But the point is, I think just like with anything, if you've got something good to add sa isang komunidad, you know, that, and willing ka naman to give something to that community, that should be welcome. You know, because that can only make that community better. And for sure, we're looking at this, if we're going to look at it in 2, 3, 4 generations down the line, we're probably looking at a different picture. Maybe more grassroots Filipino. Maybe they've developed techniques suited sa natural genetic ng Pilipinas. The same with Japan, you know, some people would say, oh, but mas maraming naturally looking Japanese, but then you're looking at their sports in a very, very different stage. So perhaps 3 or 4 generations down the line, we'll figure out how to be very good sportsmen with natural grassroots talents. But if people are willing to help us out, half Filipinos willing to help us out to figure that, then all the better.
Hindi, kasi I'm trying to think of a sport na pwede tayong mag-excel.
Boxing.
Okay, you were talking, hindi, I don't think magre-reverse migration tung mga nandito sa iba't ibang bansa. For example, if half Filipino player in the UK or the US, they would just probably represent the Philippines, pero nando sila sa sa iba't ibang lugar, no? Same way, kunyari, pag nagkaroon ng mga premiership, mga kung ano ng mga laban,
Yeah,
mga
they go to
liga,
Barcelona, they go to,
di ba?
yeah, they go,
Babalik sila sa
yeah.
team nila. They play here sa Figo, sa Portugal. They will play pag may laban. But that will not happen sa Pilipinas. First of all, wala tayong masyadong budget. And if ever yung sinasabi mong, I don't think they do the reverse migration. They will only probably go to the Philippines, play for the selection, and then after that, they go back to the different, kung Europe sila, o US sila, o Canada sila. Kaya, kung matitira sa Pilipinas, ang problema, pera eh. Yung team niyo was parang ragtag team yun, and parang yung funding nun, I don't know if you read the story, wala silang kapera-pera, naghihintay pa lang, di ba? Nakikilaro pa rin sila doon sa pero kaya hindi tayo pwede mga Pilipino. I was just thinking, boxing lang po pwede sa atin. Even the tennis, hindi tayo nag-improve sa tennis eh. We cannot even go past. Have you ever heard of a Filipino playing in the Wimbledon, the US Open, the Australian Open? Wala eh. For the past many 20, 30, 40, 50 years eh. Merong mga, I don't know, dito ba yung, hindi pala, ano pala yun, Indonesian ba yun? But anyway, teka muna, na-excite tayo sa pinag-uusapan kasi natin dahil mga kaibigan, kasi World Cup, no? At we're either England, kung taga rito kasi kami, or syempre Philippines, no? Ano lang ang pwedeng sport ba sa play? Basketball, we're so, wala na, forever na, hindi na tayo.
Boxing, we've always excelled in boxing.
Boxing lang talaga kasi walang gastos masyado. Boxing lang. Hindi ka mukha ng ibang sports. Kailangan ng funding, no?
I
Hopefully
think we'll get there. I mean, Brazil can have the same argument, Colombia can have the same argument, Nigeria can have the same argument na walang pera sa bansa. I think there's a way, kumbaga may symbiotic relationship then na, malalagyan ng pera. The same with volleyball a few years ago. Volleyball, wala namang pera no, hindi naman pinupuntahan. And then this, a few once in a generation talent broke the glass ceiling barriers and it made them commercially successful. I think the same must happen with all the other sports that we're talking. And sometimes that's the reason why siguro yung mga players from outside would need to help a little bit in putting that in increasing the media awareness and also opening the eyes for potential commercial success of this sport. So kikita na natin ngayon, ayun na, nag-aano na sila. Everyone knows si itong mga soccer players na not all of them are from abroad. So I think what we need is yung kumbaga seismic shock na nangyari. At least hindi man World Cup, but something to at least inspire a generation, to inspire another generation, because somewhere down the road, it'll be a bit better. Patangkad na yung mga bata ngayon, Mr. Laragan. Yun yung parati ko sinasabi, ewan ko ba, cherry fur ba yan? You look at the kids now, and you look at my generation, I'm not too long, hindi naman ako ganun katanda, but,
well,
we're
siguro awareness na lang. It has to be awareness na lang siguro. Sabi ko nga, siguro it has to be awareness kasi pero ang investment of time diyan mahaba-haba. No? Awareness lang kasi wala tayong golf player na who's made it to the big time. Wala tayong tennis player who's made it to the big time.
Well, as you said, we had a few golf players who made it to the big time. We had a few whose who played abroad. I think the same. Golf is something, I don't know for what, pero mahal ang golf. As you said, it's always about money. Yun then there's a commercial success because they have to be able, kahit katulad dito, they can make it as a career dito sa dito sa UK, dito sa Europa. At some point, it's self-paying kasi a few years ago, doon din sila yung mga players nila, Mr. Laragan, may full-time job, parang part-time hobby nila mag national team. Ang full-time job sila, may iba silang full-time job. So, there's gonna be some commercial viability na kailangan mangyari with any sport. But, yun din ang kailangan nating labanan yung mga, kasi nga may mga Pilipino na kalahating ganito, kalahating half this and half that. So if the government can't probably give them the support that they need, dun sila nagsiswitch ng kanilang nationality to represent. We've had that a number of times na. But look, EJ Obriena, he's possibly a gold candidate for that long jump. Ay, hindi ba long jump? Ano ba yung may hurdle ba yon? So he's a possible candidate.
Long pole ba yun? Pole vault?
The long hindi hurdle yon. But yeah, that long vault ba yon? Yeah, the vault. So he's a candidate. He's making waves
Sana.
now.
I'm really praying na mga Pinoy talaga manalo tayo sa world stage, no? Kasi dominated ng mga malalaking yung mga powerhouses na ito ba yan? Powerhouses sa javelin throw.
He's got a sure place
Ano ba,
for
pole vault
Olympics.
o javelin? Pole vault ba yung
Hindi
para
ata
may
javelin.
tatalon siya? Javelin
Hindi
ba
ata
ito? Pole siguro. Pole yata yan.
Pole
Okay.
that.
Anyway, Attorney, napasarap yung kwentuhan natin kasi talagang nakakagigil talaga.
Bigla tayo
Bigla
guys.
Oo nga, hindi kasi gusto natin may manalong Pilipino, manalong bansa natin. It's Pinoy pride di ba? Magkaroon sana tayo ng sport na pwede nating ipagmalaki, other than boxing, no? Okay naman ang boxing, walang problema. Pero sana nga, pati yung mga football, kung ano-ano mga tennis, at kung ano-ano yung mga yan, no? Okay, teka ba, we're gonna have, sige, yung ating, yung mga pagbati natin. Sige, attorney, no? Direct, sige, yung ating bumper na para sa ating yung mga bragging rights. Sige, let's go. Baka magre-react sa Okay,
Yan,
attorney,
naisip
yan,
ko.
baka ako mag-react sila doon sa pinag-uusapan natin, no? But just the same, sige, sino unang bumati sa palagay mo?
Naisip ko si Marian Galicia Panero for today. Yeah.
Marian Galicia Panero. Okay. Ako yun. May baka, no? Oliver, yeah. Good, Oliver, yes.
Ayan, try natin. Hello, Attorney Donna, Kuya Sunny, and Direk Pao. The barbecue weather continues here in Washington. Shame I have to rest and prepare for my successive night shifts. However, I would not want to miss our Tuesday learning program. Hope everybody is having a good evening out there in London and the rest of Europe. You can say barbecue weather din yun. Napakainit.
Barbecue weather ngayon, oo. Oo,
Init
kaya lang,
talaga.
tama po, pwede, oo. O, habol na lang tayo itong weekend kung maganda-ganda pa. Let's go barbecuing. Ibig sabihin, pwede pa tayo for the last 2 weeks ng August. Kailan ba officially, attorney, ang ano pangalan ito? Ang autumn, ang fall. Sige, tignan natin, baka mailabas yung direct. Oo, September, kasi alam ko September simula, pero baka may date yan, no?
May date.
Baka may date yan. Oo, may
Google
specific
natin.
date. Kailan ang start of autumn or fall in the UK, no? Tingnan natin, baka merong mailabas si direct na information. Tingnan. Ayan.
September 1!
Okay.
Oh my God!
Is always September 1. Wow. Wow. Okay, galing. Oh, galing.
Malapit
September 1.
na.
Malapit na.
Next
Oh,
week
yeah.
na October. Ang init.
Less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, autumn na, no? Pagkatapos niya, winter na. Wow.
Uy, joke.
No, mamaya may... So, parang parang hinintay-hintay natin summer for a long time, tapos biglang mag-ano na kagad, lalamig na naman. Diyos ko. Ayan. Anyway, attorney, sige. Sino ang pangalawa natin?
Si Marian Galicia pa na pa rin
Mario
siya.
Joseph. Tama. Oo. Fair enough. Yeah. Uy, Ma'am Cora. Wow, Ma'am Cora, mabuhay.
Dito
Ayan.
Cora Casona says, magandang gabi, Sir Sonny, Attorney Dana, at lahat. Happy Tuesday night! Happy Tuesday, Tita!
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Ma'am.
Salutatorium.
Ma'am Cora, no? Mabuhay. Mabuhay kayo, no?
Mabuhay po.
Sige, sino ang pangatlo natin? Ma'am Cora,
Si
ano?
Marian
Mabuhay kayo.
Galicia pa rin. Si
Siyempre,
Marian
tama
Galicia.
naman. Tama naman. Ako man yan eh. Of course, nasimula na yan. Pangatlo na. Oh, si Hurt, DJ Hurt Escobar. Uy, mabuhay ka. Oo, DJ Hurt. Oo.
DJ Hurt. Ganda naman ang pangalan kakaiba, DJ Hurt.
Oo, Hurt. Nakalimutan ko na yung first name niya, pero ano yan, alias niya, no? Dahil sa mga sakit, ha? Oo, okay. Ano yan eh, because of the hurt na mga naranasan niya. Sonia pala, kapangalan ko nga pala, o nga pala, Sonny, female version ko. Sonia Escobar. Mabuhay ka. Babae, babae.
Babae.
Hurt Escobar. Oh, mabuhay. Yan. Okay, asa si Marian? Direct, asa si Marian?
Hat-trick ng miss.
Oo nga, oo. Ayan, sino to? Uy, Virginia muna. Uy.
Gothenburg. Saan nga po? Yes,
mabuhay.
Switzerland ba? Or Sweden?
Sweden. It's the second biggest city, no? Parang after Stockholm, Gothenburg. So after, ano ba second biggest sa atin? Manila and then Cebu, no? Parang ganyan, di ba? Number 3, Davao. If you,
Cebu.
and 4, no, Cagayan de Oro, no? Ganyan ang ranking nila. Okay, sige. Sino mga... Virginia, mabuhay.
Gigi Alamparo. Kuya Sonny, happy Tuesday, all viewers. And also, Direct Paula, have a lovely evening. Ang init talaga ng ano ngayon, no? Parang napaka-summer.
Yes.
Napaka-summer.
Alam mo ba, every night, aside from, kunyari, let's say, bago mag-show ako, I take a shower. Bago matulog ngayon, nagsishower ako. Dahil parang may humidity, parang humid.
Hiki, ano?
Ngayon, pag lumalabas ako, minsan, dati nakachinelas eh. Pero ngayon, parang dahil pinawisan yung paa ko, tapos nakasagap pa ng dumi, talagang naliligo ako para mahugasan yung paa ko. No? Ganun. So in short, pagka lumalabas ako, nagsasaks ako, nagsushoes ako. Uy, buhay.
Si Tito Millie. Tito Millie Smith.
Kaibigan natin yan. Kaibigan. Nambit mo si Millie Smith, di ba? Yung kasama niya, yung sister niya. Oo, Millie, mabuhay. Ito si Attorney Dana, no? Yung sister niya, ano ba pangalan niya? Nakalimutan ko yung pangalan ng sister niya. Pero alam ko, magkasama lang sila eh. Magkasama sila, no? Edna nga ba, Millie, ang pangalan ng sister mo? Edna nga ba yan? Yung ate niya, palagi ko ate niya, no? Mas matanda sa kanya. Yung sister niya, si ano. Ayan. Ay, siya nga pala, attorney, bukas na yung taas namin, ha? Maganda na, meron ng... meron ng sa baba, may nagulat. Na-view mo ba yung baba? Yung baba ngayon, may nagba-barbecue, may nagpipiknik sila noon eh. Kaya
Wow!
Ay, tara sila. May taas kami. O, dito na lang kami maglalakad ni Snooki.
Mas maganda yung
Pwede. May mga benches na kompleto na. So, maayos na.
Parang Mr. Laragan, parang restaurant yon, yung area na yon. You could really, parang ma-imagine mo yun yung...
Sinilip mo ba? Yung isa taas? Nasilip mo? Oo. Pwede mo lang hilahin ngayon yung pintuan. You can go out there. Pwede na magpa-araw. May mga kompleto na maayos na. Siguro, let's just say 90% okay na. Pwede na, maganda na. So, instead of going down, just go one floor up. Andun ka na, no? That's task.
Andun ka na. Ang 10th floor.
Andun ka na.
One floor. Next time.
Okay, we'll have a short break. Ito na, naka-flash na ngayon. Ito yung truth or myth natin, continuation. It's the thing that makes our program kind of exciting do sa mga dinidiscuss ni attorney. No? So ito, truth or myth, glossary of legal and Latin terms. Wag ho kayong alis mga kaibigan, kamot po ni attorney DANNA Quinto ay magbabalik at pag-uusapan o didiscuss niyan, magkakaroon tayo ng quiz. Saglit po lamang.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka AV ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mala, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at 2nd floor, Howard House, St. John Street, Bedford, MK42 0DJ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Okay, nagbabalik ko ang ating programang Legal Advice Corner on a Happy Tuesday. Ako po si SONNY Laragan. For those of you who have tuned in just now, no? Ready na ho ako. May papel na ako at may ballpen na. So tawagan na natin yung ating profesora, no? Ng araw na ito, mga kaibigan. Ngayon ba, si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, yan, Professor.
Yes. Welcome to the class. Ayan, very good, very good, very good. Now, I just want to say nakaka-induck yung bagong theme song ng Night Jam. Natuwa ako, ha. Napaka
Itong ano, yung plug, yung plug. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Malinis mo yung direct, baka mamaya bigla tayo sulatan ni Facebook at saka ni YouTube. Hey! Copyright!
Naka-copyright na naman tayo.
Naka-copyright tayo. Oh, so, ayan. Oh. Ito.
Ayan na. Class na. Take your seats, get your piece of paper, ball pen, bawal mag-cheat. Eto na naman tayo sa ating weekly quiz. And I'm your quiz master sa Legal Advice Corner. Usual mechanics. Meron tayong topic for today. patapos na po tayo sa alphabet. So, we stopped last week sa letter T. So, nasa glossary of legal terms tayo. So, we're gonna recommence with letter U. And I will state U, V, W, X, Y, Z or Z dito sa UK. Terms, legal terms and their definition at huhulaan nyo po kung totoo o haka-haka lang or myth ang statement na yon. Syempre, kulang, 6 na lang yung natira sa alphabet, so we have to put bonus round. Ang bonus round, Latin terms. So I have a handful of Latin terms, 4 ata, o 5 Latin terms. I think it's just 4 Latin terms. At huhulaan nyo, legal pa rin, in a legal context, so Latin terms that you will hear sa batas o sa korte, at huhulaan nyo po kung ano ang meaning. Or I will say a statement containing those Latin terms, at huhulaan nyo if it's truth or myth. Without further ado, number one, it's the letter U. Ultravirus. Ultravirus means an extra judgment of the court. Truth or myth? Ultravirus. So yan daw ay extra o bonus na judgment ng korte. Truth or myth? Number 2, letter V. For vacant possession, means that a property which is sold with vacant possession must be empty of existing tenants or other occupiers, and all goods and rubbish or trash that substantially prevent or interfere with the enjoyment of a substantial part of the property on or before what we say here is a completion of the sale of the property. So vacant possession, sa madaling salita, walang tenant, walang goods, walang basura na makaka-interfere sa pag-enjoy mo ng property na binili mo at completion of that sale. Completion meaning, nag-change na yung pera, nabigyan ka na ng mortgage, napasa na, nag-remit na ng mga pera sa isa't isa. Number 3, letter W. Without prejudice. Without prejudice is a term used in UK law to describe statements made in a genuine attempt to settle a dispute that cannot be used in court as evidence against the party that made them. Truth or myth? Letter W for without prejudice. This is now a term to describe statements. So statements na may nakalagay na without prejudice, because yun daw yung mga statements na may nakalagay na attempt to settle. So they may put something in there na ayaw nilang magamit sa korte as evidence against the party that made them. So bawal daw gamitin. So anything without prejudice is kung ayaw mo makita ng korte pero nagtatry ka makipag-areglo. So you may say statements, you may say something. Yun daw ang without prejudice statements. Totoo ba o haka-haka lang? Number 4. Meron tayong letter X actually. Letter X for Sidious Agreement. I will spell that for law students na nanonood. Sidious is X-Y-D-H-I-A-S. Sidious agreement is an agreement reached between you and your spouse in relation to your financial arrangements on divorce, which is not yet a court order, but you have been bound to. Sidious agreement. Ito daw ay agreement na nagkasundo na kayo, pero hindi pa court order, but potentially pwede kang mabound nito. Assiduous agreement. Okay? Letter Y for yardstick of equality. It means that all matrimonial cases or financial matrimonial cases must be awarded with a 50-50 division. So yardstick of equality means that in matrimonial cases, it must always be 50-50 daw ang hatian. Totoo ba? O haka-haka lang? Or myth? Number 6 for letter Z, or so United Kingdom, we call it Z. Z for zoning. It's a term used in non-occupation proceedings for splitting the areas of the house to manage the occupation of two separate spouses so they avoid conflict. Z for zoning. So yan daw ay a term we use as lawyers in non-occupation proceedings para hatiin yung bahay, to manage yung occupation, to manage ang pagtira ng dalawang tao na separated pero andun pa rin sa isang bahay para hindi sila mag-away. Totoo ba? O haka-haka lang? Well, ubos na po natin yung ating alphabet, so we'll have to go to the Latin terms now. Actually, I just didn't realize yung Latin terms pala natin is also alphabetical. So letter A for the Latin term, ad hominem. Ad hominem is a perfume. Truth or myth? Number 8, letter B for Latin term, bona vacancia. I spelled this bona, B-O-N-A, vacancia, V-A-C-A-N-T-I-A, means vacant goods and is the name given to ownerless property which by law here in England and Wales passes to the crown, who is King Charles III. Bona vacancia. Ito daw yung walang vacant goods na walang may-ari. And by law daw ito ay mapupunta sa aming hari na si King Charles III. Number 9, caveat emptor. So caveat, C-A-V-E-A-T, emptor, E-M-P-T-O-R. It means empty goods. Is that truth or myth? And number 10, for letter D, de minimis. In relation to the law, de minimis is translate to the law cares not for small things. Is that truth or myth? So de minimis daw hindi na sasakit, hindi na sasakit ang ulo ng law, they won't consider small things. That's pretty much the direct translation. Totoo ba o hindi? Truth or myth? Actually, may longer yan. In relation to the law, the term de minimis is taken from the extended Latin phrase de minimis non curat lex, which translates to the law cares not for small things. Totoo ba yan? That the law will not really consider small things? Totoo ba o haka-haka lang? Right, very, very quickly, we will go through it one more time. So if you're just joining us, kung late ka po, sige lang, pasok lang, get a piece of paper, and we will repeat all 10 statements, part 3, from U to Z, and then some legal Latin terms. Number 1, ultra vires means an extra judgment of the court, truth or myth. Number 2, vacant possession. Property sold with vacant possession must be empty of existing tenants, goods, or rubbish that will prevent the enjoyment of a property at completion of the sale of that property. Without prejudice, W for without prejudice is a term used in UK law to describe statements made in a genuine attempt to settle a dispute, but this cannot be used in court as evidence against the party who's made them. So pwede pala yun? Pwede ba yun? Truth or myth? Number 4, serious agreement, which is spelled as XYDHIS, although it is pronounced as serious agreement. A serious agreement is an agreement reached between you and your spouse in relation to your financial arrangement on divorce, not yet a court order, but which you have been bound to. Totoo ba yan? Pwede ba yan mangyari? Truth or myth? Number 5, yardstick of equality. It means that all matrimonial financial cases must be awarded 50-50 division. Totoo ba yan na always 50-50 division because of yardstick of equality? Number 6, for Z or Z, zoning, a term used in non-occupation proceedings for splitting the areas of the house to manage the occupation of 2 separate spouses so they avoid conflict. Number 7, now in legal terms, ad hominem. Is that a perfume? Truth or myth? Number 8, bona vacancia means vacant goods and is the name given to ownerless property, which by law passes to the Crown or King Charles III currently. Number 9, caveat emptor, empty goods, truth or myth? And finally, de minimis, which is sabi, short version of de minimis non curat lex, which translates down, the law cares not for small things. Truth or myth? Right. Exchange papers. Si Derek, alam ko, nag-check yan ng mga papel ng mga ibang viewers. So, exchange with your seatmate there or self-checking. Honesty is the best policy. Without further ado, number 1, answer sheet na tayo. Ultra-virus. U for ultra-virus means an extra judgment of the court. That is a myth. Hindi po yan ang meaning ng ultra-virus. Ultra-virus is normally used in company law. Ultra-virus means beyond the powers of the company, or could also be used, I think, in court proceedings as well, which is beyond the powers of the court. So ultra-virus just means na lumabas ka dun sa powers na dapat lang nasa sa'yo. So it's also actually within the organization, ultra-virus. It means beyond kung ano lang yung allowed na powers sa'yo. Okay? So, hindi po yan meaning may extra o bonus judgment yung court na parang additional credit sa movie. Wala pong ganon. Number 2, vacant possession. Property sold with vacant possession must be empty of tenants, goods, rubbish that may interfere with the enjoyment of a property on or before completion. That is true. So, when you buy a property here in the UK, normally, makikita, sasabihin po sa inyo, vacant possession. I must insist on vacant possession. Ibig sabihin, hindi nyo po pwedeng iwan yung sofa nyo, hindi nyo po pwedeng iwan yung asawa nyo, hindi nyo po pwedeng iwan yung rubbish. You know, sometimes is nandun yung skip na tinatawag namin, yung napakalaking nandun lahat ng mga rubbish nyo. So that's not vacant possession. So you will see there sa agreement, you are required to give up vacant possession. Every now and again, sometimes they would say, yeah, vacant possession except for the tenants. Kasi yung iba, they're fine with letting the tenants carry on. That comes with its own set of risk and advantages and disadvantages. That can happen, but just keep a lookout at that. The normal protocol dito vacant possession. So, karamihan may mga nag-aaway from our experience, nagkakaroon ng dispute dahil vacant possession ang condition, pero may mga iniwan na mga rubbish mostly, or may iniwan sila na furnitures, or they really should pack. Meron na, I think from experience, may, alam mo yung mga inflatable swimming pool, iniwan nandun. So, be very careful about that. So, basahin, pag vacant possession, dapat wala yung mga ganon. Goods, rubbish, occupiers, asawa, etc. Bawal iwan sa ating bahay na binenta. Number 3, without prejudice. W for without prejudice. Without prejudice is a term used in UK law to describe statements made in a genuine attempt to settle a dispute that cannot be used in court as evidence against the party at that time. That is true. So you will see often that when we lawyers make an offer to settle, literally dun sa letter nalagyan namin ng without prejudice, save us the cause, or without prejudice, save us the cause. So the reason for that is sometimes we may give in a little bit to something or sasabihin namin, no, actually willing kami pag-isipan to. I think that's the reasoning behind that. But sometimes it's not really because sa tingin mo mahina yung kaso mo o sa tingin mo wala kang laban. Minsan lang talaga, you know what, I'm willing to take a discount. Pero kung hindi mo pa rin tatanggapin, willing pa rin ako to go all the way. I will sue you, for example, £50,000. Pero if you accept this offer now, I'm happy to take £40,000. So you'll put that as a without prejudice settlement offer. The reason for that is yung final judge, just in case hindi kayo nag-aareglo, the judge at the trial, the final hearing, bawal basahin yon para hindi magkaroon ng predisposition yung judge na yon. Kasi pag nakita niya yon, kung i-allow yon, baka sabihin niya, ay, willing ka naman pala tumanggap ng 40,000. So that's the reason why those correspondences without prejudice, the best practice is lalagyan mo talaga ng label na without prejudice. Hindi po kasama yan sa trial bundle. And that will allow people or maeengganyo yung mga tao na mag-enter into negotiation dahil nga hindi pwede pa rin nilang ma-preserve yung open position nila. Kahit sa tingin nila malakas ang ebidensya nila, pwede pa rin ma-preserve yon kung gusto nilang matapos na yung pag-aaway ngayon din. So that's the reasoning behind that. Kasi ayaw nilang isipin nung later on ng judge, so okay lang naman pala sa'yo na 40,000. So 40,000 na lang yung ibibigay ko sa'yo. However, without prejudice correspondences can be opened later on. Kaya nga yung full name nun, without prejudice, save us the cause. Kasama yung middle name at last name niya. Without prejudice, save us the cause. Because you can say to the court later on, nag-offer na ako 5 months ago. I said to them, tatanggap ako 10,000, tinan mo, ikaw nga judge, later, so normally where it happens is you made a better offer kesa yung inano sa judge. Yung judge sabi, you know what, inofera na kita ng, halimbawa dito, nanalo ka ng 45,000, in another, kung ikaw yung defense, kumbaga, 50,000 yung hinihingi, 40,000 nag-offer ka na kasi nga sabi mo, hindi yan tama, hindi naman tama yung kiniklaim mo, masyado mong in-inflate. So, you make an offer without prejudice offer, sabi mo, you know what, 40, sa tingin ko 40,000 lang yung mapapanalo mo. And then it turned out na later on, ang napanalo lang pala sa korte, di niya tinanggap, napanalo sa korte, 35,000 lang. So, pwede mong ipakita yun sa korte to say how reasonable you are. Sabihin mo sa judge, just mas malaki pa, mas generous pa nga ako sa'yo. I made the offer 6 months ago. Ano yung consequences nun? You can't, kahit na ikaw yung technically natalo, you can claim cost. You can actually say na, I've done better. Mas nagbigay ako ng, mas naging reasonable ako. So that could have caused consequences. The thing to take away dun sa W natin without prejudice is pwede kang makipag-areglo without hurting your open position, yung totoong yung position mo na ilalan mo talaga siya. At pwede mo yan maging alas later on. Kahit na hindi yan makikita ng judge sa main trial, pwede yan gamitin. para makakuha man lang ng cost kung ikaw ay napaka-reasonable. So that's something to think about. Number 4, quite excited about this because this is exsidious, or spelled Xydhias. This is a very specific term in family law. And this is from a case actually of sidious and sidious. So, ang statement na binigay ko is an agreement reached between you and your spouse to your financial agreement, which is not yet a court order. Yun ang operative term, di pa court order, but you may be bound to. So, sabihin mo, di ba attorney, dapat court order yan bago maging full agreement. Or one might say, paano yun? Nag-agree naman kami. That statement is generally true, but I will give a longer explanation kasi very technical to. So, step back muna tayo, rewind, with court agreement, with financial agreement sa divorce. I always say na kailangan mo ng court order para magkaroon ka ng clean break. Kasi sa financial agreement, isa lang ang makakapagbigay ng court order sa iyo na may sealed consent order. Isa lang, isang organisasyon, korte lang. Judge lang ang makakapagsabi, forever and ever, wala na kayong claim sa isa't isa. And that means clean break. So, sa judge mo lang makukuha yon. Sometimes, mahaba yung proseso na yan, getting to that point na magkakaroon na kayo ng agreement. You reach a point na drafted na lahat, andun na yung heads of terms, yung main na agreement nyo, pareho kayo may abogado, pareho kayong nagkaroon ng legal advice, parehong may full disclosure, and almost klaro na kung ano yung napagkasundoan nyo, ipapasa na lang sa judge, or na magpapasa ka na lang talaga. At minsan, syempre, may mga delay, baka na-delay lang sa post, o na-delay dahil may strike, yung Royal Mail. Tapos may isang party na biglang nagsabi, you know what, ayoko na. Sign na yun na-sign na, papasa na lang. Biglang sasabihin niya, ayoko na. Hindi ko na gusto yung agreement na yan. Wala pa namang court order. Sasabihin niya, di ba dapat wala pa court order, so hindi pwedeng clean break yan, walang court order. I don't want to go anymore, and I want to go to full trial. Pretty much yan yung storya ng Sidious na case. So they entered into a long negotiation, drafted na yung heads of terms, may agreed heads of terms na essentially all the agreed points, and then may umatras yung husband. And sabi niya, nope, wanna go to full trial. The court says in this instance, kung ganun na halos hinog na sa ating Pilipino, hinog na yung negosasyon nyo, kulang na lang talaga, almost like yung sealed order na, ang tawag dyan, may Sidious agreement ka na. And you're likely to be bound by that. However, may mga other agreement na hindi Sidious agreement. Yung sinasabi, attorney, nag-usap kami ng asawa ko many years ago, pinag-usapan lang namin, hatiin lang namin yung bahay. But wala kayong disclosures, wala kayong abogado, hindi nyo alam kung hindi kayo nakakuha ng legal advice, hindi nyo nakita yung disclosure, as I've said, hindi nyo nakita yung disclosure ng isa't isa, hindi na type up yung heads of agreement, hindi na check ng abogado, hindi yon Sidious agreement. Iba yon, hindi yon. That's unlikely, you're unlikely to be bound by that. Kasi hindi kinog, hindi kompleto. Compare dito kay Mr. Sidious and Mrs. Sidious, na andun na, papasa na, pass the paper, kumbaga nasagutan na yung 1 to 10, papasa na lang, biglang humindi pa. Sabi ng korte, bawal, hindi pwede yun, you're gonna be bound by that. And the court proceeded then on to say, to formulate this legal principle around that case. And that is called a Sidious agreement. Very, very specific in family law. So yeah, that's number 4. It is true, pero kailangan andun yung buong explanation. Okay? Number 5. Why? For yardstick of equality. It means that all matrimonial financial cases will always have an award of 50-50. That is a myth. Not always. What yardstick of equality means is yun ang starting point. 50-50 ang sa consideration starting point. Ang analogy na binibigay ko dito is kung naalala niyo po yung sinaunang weighing scale, yung ilalagay niyo sa gitna muna, tapos i-move mo left or right. So parang ganun din sa ating yardstick of equality. The law says it starts there, but it can be more for somebody else if there is a good reason from departing from 50-50. So, ang unang titingnan muna ay kung reasonable needs are met, as well as na-cover na yung para sa mga bata, childcare ng bata, day-to-day living cost. So, that's called needs. And then we have this principle of sharing, and then thereafter, the principle of compensation. Quite simply, what it says is that mag-uumpisa man sa 50-50, pwede, pero pa yung abogado mo pwedeng mag-argue na mas malaki sa 50-50 yung makukuha mo kung na-tick na yung mga boxes na yun. Kung meron okay na, reasonable needs na, nag-share na kayo, at sabi mo, hindi, lahat na ano, pero yung sobra, akin yun. Kasi ako, a lot of reasons, maraming mga technical arguments dyan. The usual technical argument is ikaw naman yung nag-contribute, extraordinary contribution. And that was probably what they used in the case of Paul McCartney and Heather Mills. So that was the key kasi malaki yung asset ni Paul McCartney. So sabihin, no, start sa 50-50. Sasabihin ni Paul McCartney, no, hindi pwede. Kasi pag reasonable needs nakuha na ni Heather Mills, which is I think 2.5 million house ang reasonable needs niya, na-share na, and na ano na yung sa bata, malaki pa rin, di pa rin pwede 50-50. I can argue for a departure from equality. So I think, I don't know kung 15% or not, on the top of my head, definitely not 50-50 yung kay Paul McCartney. I think it's more like 80-something or 70. Look it up if you're a law student. That's how they apply the yardstick of equality. Start doon, and then you adjust. You adjust depending dun sa argument. That's, in my head, that's how I imagine the yardstick of equality. So myth po yun. Number 5 is myth. Number 6, Z for zoning. Z for zoning is a term we use in non-occupation proceedings for splitting the areas of the house to manage the occupation of two separate spouses to avoid conflict. That is true. So, siguro yan I would consider as a family law. Hindi naman slang, pero really very, very unique way of using the zoning word sa family law. So sometimes we would medyo nagkakaroon ng friction ng mag-asawa na maghihiwalay na, pero hindi pa masyado afford mag-move out ng isa. Sometimes how we settle it is we say magzo-zoning tayo. So ikaw doon ka sa kwarto dito, ikaw doon ka sa kabilang kwarto. Sometimes we would even manage the use, i-schedule lang yung use ng kitchen. So sabihin naman, ikaw, ito yung time mo sa kitchen, ito yung allocated sa'yo. This is temporary, but this is more of how ito yung mga terms na ginagamit namin. So we would call that zoning, the zoning solution. So zone west wing or east wing sa'yo, so if we've got a mansion, or the zone or the schedule of this particular space in the house is yours. So that's how we use it. Number 7, nasa Latin terms na tayo. Ad hominem is a perfume. It isn't. That's a myth. Ad hominem is a criticism, is in a way directed against a person. It's an attack directed against the person rather than the position they are maintaining. So sometimes we use that in law. So sabihin namin na di mo naman inaatake yung legal position. Masyado ka nang namimersonal sa atin pa. Pinipersonal mo. It's an ad hominem attack. So that is myth. Number 8, bona vacancia. which means vacant goods and is the name given to ownerless property which by law passes to the crown. Okay, King Charles III. That is true. At you might ask kung kailan nagkakaroon ng bona vacancia goods. So one case na quite normal dahil nakakalimutan. So merong company, akala nila nakalimutan na yung isang property. Sometimes nakalimutan yung bank account, may maliit pa pala o may money pa pala natitira doon. Then that company proceeded to stop trading and liquidate itself, wind itself in the company's house. So according to the company's house, patay na yung company. Pero may pera pa sa bangko. Technically, bona vacancia yon. Mapupunta sa crown. But, additional tip, merong kang way to still claim for that. I think when I was a younger lawyer, I used to do a fair bit of bona vacancia cases. May mga ganyan. Nakailang case na rin ako na nag-apply ako sa korte to resurrect the company purely para i-claim lang yung mga bona vacancia property niya. So, that's quite an interesting little area of law. Number 9, caveat emptor. Empty goods, that is a myth. Caveat emptor or buyer beware sa English. The principle that the buyer alone is responsible for checking the quality and suitability of goods before a purchase is made. Ibig sabihin nun, buyer daw ang mag-check. Ikaw ang mag-check. Ikaw ang bahalang mag-check. But obviously, subject yan sa implied terms ng Supply of Goods and Services Act. But that is a principle that you will probably hear a lot sa conveyancing when also doing property. Bibili po kayo ng bahay dito sa United Kingdom, they might say to you, buyer beware. Ikaw mag-imbestiga kung ano yung state ng bahay na yan. So that's probably where you will hear that term. And finally, letter D, de minimis, which is in relation to law. The term de minimis is taken from the extended Latin phrase de minimis non curat lex, which translates to the law cares not for small things. That is true. De minimis is a legal principle which allows for matters that are super small scale or insufficient importance to be exempted from a rule or requirement. It can be used by the courts as an exclusionary tool to dismiss trivial matters from litigation. So sometimes they might say kung may de minimis principle is masyadong hindi na ganun ka, it's really, really so trivial that they will say, no, we won't consider it. So that's where you hear that. I will point that out to the, I will link that sa isa sa number 2 natin sa vacant possession. So, I said na kung may naiwan, bawal vacant possession, bawal yung may naiwan ka na goods, rubbish, tenants, etc. But this rule can be subject to de minimis principle. Halimbawa, may naiwan lang na piece of paper. Ito, naiwan. Naiwan. Siguro nakalimutan lang, may final checklist yan. Nakalimutan. So sabihin mo, technically, sabihin mo, di vacant possession yan, I will claim for that. You know, that piece of paper is infringing on my enjoyment of the property. The court might say, nope, we won't deal with that as a matter of de minimis because it's so trivial that we really would not want to consider that as a claim. So that could be the de minimis rule applied to number 2, vacant possession. Very quickly, let's just double check. Number 1 is myth. Number 2 is true. 3 true. 4 true. 5 myth. 6 true. 7 myth. 8 true. 9 myth. And 9 true. That's our part 3. Probably final round for a while. Baka magkaroon tayo ng Latin terms on its own later on. Mr. Laragan, how did you do? Nasaan na siya? Mr. Laragan, there he is. Ayan. Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Then nawala yung microphone ko. Okay. Yeah, I have 8 out of ano yan?
Galing.
True tayo. True. Okay. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Nako. Pero alam mo, nang hula ako most of the time, no? May tanong lang ako ron. Yung first ba, ang ultra virus, like ultra and then virus, yung parang, kunyari, parang
Two words.
pandemic.
Two words. Yeah,
Ultra virus yun.
no. Let me spell it for you. It's actually spelled
Oo.
different. Ultra virus is like VIRES.
Virus. So, okay, ultra.
Virus.
Kasi
Ultra
dinig namin
virus.
nga, parang ultra virus.
Virus.
Is
Dapat
it one
sinabi ko
word
pa
or two
yan.
separate words?
Two separate words.
Oh, parang ultra virus, ultra virus, virus, no? Ultra.
Virus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ayan. So, ayan, pero nakatama ako riyan. Hinulaan ko lang. Yung last naman, hindi mo na i-spell yung attorney. De minimis ba? DEMINIMIS?
Very
De
good.
minimis?
Yes, absolutely.
Ayun
Pero
yun.
two words. Pero two words.
Paano? De,
De?
tapos minimis.
DE, yeah. And then minimis. Minimis.
Ayun.
Yeah.
The minimis, ayun, so far. So, yun ang, so I've got 8, no? Hindi ko nakuha yung without prejudice at saka CGS agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, magaling, maganda, no? Ayun pala, ultra virus, no? Virus, no? Ayun. Niisip ko, parang virus yata yun. Ano ba yung virus na, no? Yung pala, ultra virus virus. So, okay. Ayan, oo. Naka 8. Hindi ko alam kung
Very
paano sila,
good.
Ma'am Cora, no? Sila Ma'am, Oy, Oliver Fernandez, 6 out of 10 on my iPad. Oh, hindi katuwaan lang to eh. Katuwaan lang.
No problem. Katuwaan lang.
Oo. Pakita mo nga kay Oliver. Sa Oliver, sige, pakita mo nga uli yun. Tumama siya, okay, mali siya doon sa una, yung ultravirus. Tapos tama siya sa
Without
vacant.
prejudice. Yeah.
Oh, pareho kami sa without prejudice. Oo, tama naman siya sa CGS agreement. Mali ako doon. Okay, so ayan. Yung bona vacancia kasi Latin medyo mahirap caveat emptor, no?
At
Ayun,
caveat
okay.
emptor.
Thank you, Oliver. Hope paano yan? Na hindi siya makapag-enjoy, nakapag-barbecue ka, pero saglit lang, ganun ba? Dahil you have to prepare hindi ka pwede bumabad, no? Dahil magpe-prepare sa kanyang shift, night shift yata, si Oliver. Teka muna, ano bang shifting? 8 hours ang time difference nila kung ganun, basta 8 hours eh. Ayan. Oh, si Edgar.
Galing siya sa clinic. Nako, okay lang
may
yan
pass
eh.
siya.
Right shoes.
Okay.
Right shoes.
Si Ma'am Cora. Okay lang.
Okay lang.
This is good.
It's okay. Don't worry.
No, okay lang yan. Katuwaan lang naman. Kasi talaga sa totoo lang, hinulaan ko lang halos lahat yan, no? Sa yung iba, no? Parang, sabi ko mukhang trick question kaya to ni attorney. Parang kaya to ni, Meron kaya siyang pattern, mga ganyan eh, no? Tinitingnan ko.
Minsan may pattern naman.
Oo, baka may pattern. Kunyari, myth, truth, no? Oo, so matapos, tignan nga natin, baka may pattern si attorney. So,
Wala.
thank you. Oo, nakakatuwa. 4 out of 6, si Oliver 6 out of ilan si Oliver? 6 out of 10, no? 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Ako naman nakakuha ko 8 out of 10. Pero most of the answers ko, I was trying to figure out, hinuhulaan ko lang, no? Pero which is good. Mayroon tayo na natutunan, no? Ultra virus, no? Virus pala yun. Pero dinig ko kasi virus eh. Sabi
Virus.
Virus, pagkaka. Tsaka yung de minimis, sabi ko mamaya hindi naman kita pwedeng sabi ko, hindi ko naman pwedeng i-interrupt si attorney, no? Mamaya na siguro pag natapos na. So yung 2 words na yun, ultra virus, at saka de minimis. Ayan. Ano nga uli yung ultra virus, attorney? Para lang ma-unlock, para at least meron kaming maiwan na
Beyond the powers. For example, beyond the powers of the company. So beyond the powers. Umano ka. So for example, sa company, hindi powers ng director. hindi pwede sa authority conferred on them, pero ginawa pa rin nila. So they did something beyond their powers.
Oo, so beyond, no? So parang
Yeah.
nagpasto sa scope na pwede nilang gawin sa isang direktor o sa kumpanya beyond
Exactly.
the powers. Okay, yung de minimis nga uli, sila yung parang de
Very,
minimis.
very trivial, very trivial, very trivial, and the court will not care for those trivial things. And yung example, kinonek ko sa vacant possession. Sabi ko, hindi ka pwedeng mag-claim. Halimbawa, naiiwan lang yung papel, isang pirasong papel, naiiwan ni Direk yung truth or myth niya, nakalimutan niya lang, naiiwan niya doon. Pero, malinis naman yung buong bahay. And then, that person will say, hala, hindi yan vacant possession. The court will say, okay, technically, hindi nga vacant possession, but under de minimis rule, we won't, that is not a breach under or we will not pursue that under the de minimis rule.
Kumbaga, walang material, parang, may mga word
Material na nakasalanan.
Trivial eh.
Trivial.
Siya,
Hindi naman
kumbaga, very,
material.
walang material importance, pwedeng, technically, sapat wala ka iwanan, pati asawa, binanggit mo, attorney, pwedeng iwanan yung asawa.
Pero, dalhin niyo po yung asawa niyo.
Pero kung naiwan yung sapatos, hindi, kung naiwan lang yung lace lang, okay lang siguro, de minimis na yan, di ba? Lace nung sapatos nung Mr. o Mrs. na iniwan. No?
De minimis yun.
Okay. So, ayan, de minimis something trivial na wala namang masyadong epekto. Maaring technically, nga, dapat i-clear yung lugar, no? Yung, di ba? Pero kung naiwan lang isang stapler doon o isang papel ni Direk halimbawa, wala yun. Hindi pwede na sigurong i-crumple yun. Itapon. Wala nang Unlike kung nandun yung parang favorite na frame ni Direk halimbawa. Ayun yun. Wala. Kailangan bakit nandun yung frame niya? Laki-laki
Pwede yun. Sasabihin nila, laki-laki, di ko naman gusto yun, or whatever. Sasabihin nila, napakamahal, tanggalin yan. Normally, ang problema is, kung kami yung magtatanggal yan, naku, magkakaroon pa kami ng gastusin. Yun ang normal na reklamo. Or, napakarumi, andun yung mga rubbish, and we'll have to get a skip to get it out. So, we're, out of pocket na kami. So, nangyayari actually yung totoo sa totoong buhay, kahit na alam nilang vacant possession na may mga matitigas sa ulo pa rin na nag-iwan ako ano-ano.
Attorney, yung bang nasa likod mo, yung may kay Lola mo, yung parang part of the, yung kay Lola ba yan?
I don't think you can see that.
Hindi yata, may malaking painting ba yan? Ano ba yan?
No, that's a painting.
Ito yung kay Lola, di ba?
Ito yung sa Lola ko.
Kay Lola, Malong.
Yeah, it is Malong. Yeah, Malong.
Part ng Malong, di ba? Part ng Malong. Okay. Good. Nakakatuwa kasi we were talking about no? Pero yung nasa likod mo, is it a poster? Ano yung nasa likod mo?
It's a poster, It's a French poster. Malaki, nakuha ko sa St. Albans. Nabili ko sa St. Albans many years ago. Siguro, na yan?
Okay.
10 years na siguro yan, Mr. Laragan. 10 years na siguro yan.
May parang may kumbaga kung antik na siya ng 10 years. Vintage is for 10 years. That's good. Well, we learned a lot of things today, Maganda yung marami tayong natutunan for today. Ayun, at least ang kagandahan nito, even though we may make mistakes, no? Kasi kumbaga first time yung gawin to, no? Pero pag paulit-ulit lang, ulit-ulit, let's say, ginajumble later on ni attorney, at maski paano, merong mag-i-stick sa atin And of course, meron naman tayong replay nito direct, di ba? Meron naman tayong mga link, bigyan natin links ng para nang sa ganun, lalong yumaman yung ating kaalaman pagdating sa mga legal terms, glossary of terms dito sa UK and generally iba rito di ba? Universal, yung mga without prejudice, di ba?
Without prejudice. The minimis, Bona Vacancia din ata. Caveat emptor is quite known and ad hominem. Ad hominem, mga legal terms. Iba dito lang,
Yung, uy,
serious
teka
lang yung
muna,
sa atin.
argument, para sa ad hominem, parang, oy, teka muna, yung argumento pag-usapan natin, wag yung personalan, di ba? Ganun. Ad
Correct.
hominem, yun ba yan? Correct. Okay, that's good. Well, okay. At least, sana may natutunan kayo. Ako maski paano, some of it medyo hinuhulaan ko, pero dahil nung pinapaliwanag ni attorney, naintindihan na natin. So, attorney, wow, thank you very much. Mabuhay, mabuhay. Yun na muna ating lesson from Professor Danna Quinto. Legal, terminologies natin, mga glossary of terms, no? So, maraming salamat. Attorney, kung meron silang mga legal problems, they might probably need a lawyer. How do they get in touch with you? At baka may mga shoutouts ka. Go right ahead, please, attorney.
Right. You can contact me at danna.quinto@dbsolicitors.com or call me at 01234-225-188. Again, it's danna.quinto@dbsolicitors.com or call me at 01234-225-188. Just thank you kay Direk Pao. Thank you, Mr. Laragan. And thank you everyone sa pabalik-balik sa classroom. Nakakatawa. It's such a good fun. Para tayo nagpa-pub quiz every Tuesday. So, balik po kayo and have a good rest of the week. Kahit tayo ay, siguro last 2 weeks na natin to for summer. So, enjoy. Barbecue, maglakad, whatever it is. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Oo, habulin natin. Technically pala, September 1 pala. Ang tag dito, autumn na. May kanta nga, I'll see you in September when summer is gone. I have a good time, but remember, when summer is gone, September. Pero ang summer nagsimula lang, 'di ba? August, July, June. Parang mid direct kailan nagsimula ang summer lang? Paki-check mo nga lang, when did summer start? Summer 23 officially start. Parang mga June middle yata, parang naalala ko sa August, parang binasa niya 'yun na binanggit niya na hindi ka mukha nito September 1. June 21. Hindi, pero ito June 1 until September 23.
September 22. Matagal-tagal pa. Meron pa tayong
Matagal pa. Oo. Siguro technically lang kasi parang 3 months, June, July, August, September, October, November. Tapos winter, December, January, February. Tapos spring, March, April, May. No? Ayan, so pero yun, at least kung yun ang talagang summer pa, di hanggang mid-September pa tayo, pwede pa tayo, or a little over mid. So, attorney, thank you very much. We enjoyed the class, no? And truly, we call you our professor. Di ba? Every Tuesday, meron tayong konting quiz, meron tayong truth or myth, and somehow, by going through this, itong ginagawa mo, attorney, maski paano, meron kaming nakukuha at naiintindihan dito sa batas sa atin at yung mga legal terms dito sa United Kingdom. So, thank you very much. No? So, sa ngalan mo, no, attorney, magpapaalam na ho tayo sa ngalan ni attorney Danna Quinto, profesora natin, every Tuesday, at kasama ni Direk, na minsan napapagkamalan ko attorney din. Ito po si Sonny Laragan, nagsasabing thank you sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay sa Legal Advice Corner on yung ating Happy Tuesday na date, no? Let's do it again next Tuesday for another edition. So till then, take care, God bless, and good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.